How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage from 3 nights ago, which was October 14th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus The Butcher and the Blade. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Blackpool Combat Club went over cause Claudio Castagnoli pinned The Butcher with the Ricola Bomb. Now after the match, the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, cut a promo, and Jon Moxley said, "Claudio, my friend, I got a question. Are the Blackpool Combat Club afraid to take on anybody?" Claudio Castagnoli said no. Jon Moxley said, "I have another question. Is the BCC afraid of anybody?" Claudio Castagnoli said, "Hell no." Then Jon Moxley said, "And finally, what do you think is going to happen to Hangman Page if he don't step up?" Claudio Castagnoli said, "Son, you're going to get stepped on," and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 2, it was Nyla Rose versus Anna Jay. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Nyla Rose went over with the Beast Bomb. Now, after the match, as Nyla Rose, Marina... Excuse me. Now, after the match, as Nyla Rose, Marina Shafir, and Vicky Guerrero were celebrating Nyla Rose's victory, Jade Cargill and the Baddies, which are Kiera Hogan and Layla Gray, came out, and Kiera Hogan and Layla Gray of the Baddies stood face to face against the security guards, and then Jade Cargill came down and attacked the security guards and beat the shit out of them and laid them out and everything, and then Vicky Guerrero, Nyla Rose, and Marina Shafir escaped, and a stare down between all 6 women of Vicky Guerrero, Nyla Rose, and Marina Shafir against Jade Cargill and the Baddies, which are Kiera Hogan and Layla Gray, occurred and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 3, it was Ethan Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. And the stipulation was, if Isaiah Cassidy won, then Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, would be relieved from their contracts with the firm. But if Ethan Page won, then not only would Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, remain signed under the firm, but Matt Hardy would have to join the firm. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ethan Page went over with the Ego's Edge. And match 4, which was the main event, it was the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler versus the Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Khan. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Pinnacle went over cause Shawn Spears pinned Khan with the C4. Now after the match, as the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, were celebrating their victory, the Kingdom, which are Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Maria Kanellis-Bennett came out, and Maria Kanellis-Bennett got on the microphone and cut a promo talking about how FTR call themselves the top guys, and talked about how the Kingdom were the top guys in Ring of Honor and New Japan and everything, and talked about how the Kingdom held the Ring of Honor tag team titles and the IWGP tag team titles and carried both titles on their backs and everything, and talked about how the Kingdom won a shot at FTR for the Ring of Honor tag team titles and the IWGP tag team titles and everything. And Maria Kanellis-Bennett was talking more shit towards FTR, and as that was going on, the Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Khan, came in the ring and attacked the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, and beat the shit out of them. And the Kingdom, which are Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, came into the ring and joined the Embassy and beating the shit out of the Pinnacle. And as that brawl was going on, Wardlow, which are Samoa Joe and Wardlow, came out to the ring and came to the aid of the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. But as Wardlow, which are Samoa Joe and Wardlow, came down to the ring, the Kingdom, the Kingdom, which are Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Maria Kanellis-Bennett, and the Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, Khan, and Prince Nana, retreated, and Wardlow, which are Samoa Joe and Wardlow, stood tall, while the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, were laid out and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way, and that was match 4 in the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Renee Paquette interviewed Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Well, Renee Paquette asked Swerve Strickland, after your victory with Billy Gunn, what's next for Swerve and Our Glory? Swerve Strickland said, Renee, first of all, welcome to AEW. But it's whose house? The crowd said Swerve's house. Then Swerve Strickland said, that's right. Well, Renee, our next goal is to get AEW Tag Team Gold. But before I get any further, I have something to say to Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn, even though you're half my age and you're half my size, I still kicked your ass. But what's funny is, after I kicked your ass, you and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, you and the Acclaimed got a cease and desist from Mark Sterling of not using the scissor me gesture anymore, and I think that's funny. And Keith, you got to admit that's funny, bro. Keith Lee said, "You know, Swerve, I've stood by your side because I believe in you. Not because I think you're good, not because you're good, which you are, but you could be better. And you resorted to cheating, well, you kind of did. And we don't have to cheat to win. So think about it." And then Keith Lee ended up leaving, and Swerve Strickland and Renee Paquette looked on and everything. That was cool. Renee Paquette interviewed the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Tien. Well, Renee Paquette brought up to the Dark Order about losing their opportunity for the AEW Trios titles and asked how they were feeling and everything. And Alex Reynolds was getting ready to speak, but before Alex Reynolds could speak, Jose the assistant came along and talked about how they've been after how they've been after the Dark Order for 2 months and everything. And Ten said, "Yeah, Jose, the assistant, you've been bothering me for 2 months now. And so how about next week I face off against Roosh? And if and when I beat Roosh, you all leave the Dark Order alone, because this has not only been bothering me, but it's been bothering my teammates. So, get out." And Jose, the assistant, ended up leaving, and John Silver said, "Hey, the assistant, get out of here." And then Evil Uno said, "I don't know what that was all about, but claws in, boys." And so the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Ten, put their claws in together, and then Stu Grayson appeared and put his claw in, and the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Ten, got all excited and wondered where Stu Grayson has been and everything, and Stu Grayson said, "We're in Canada. I wasn't going to miss this," and everything. That was cool. The Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Anna Jay, came out and cut a promo, and Angelo Parker was saying, "Toronto, the family has gotten back together, baby." And Matt Menard got on the microphone and said, "You know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Knowing that the Jericho Appreciation Society will be together forever, forever, forever." Then Anna Jay got on the microphone and said, "Allow me to introduce to you the man of the hour, the man of power, and the man who will make you sour, Daniel Garcia." Daniel Garcia was saying, "You know, I've had people ask me why I did what I did. Well, here's why. Yes, Bryan Danielson is my hero, and he taught me how to have heart and guts. But Chris Jericho, after he hit me in the head with the Ring of Honor World title, it made me realize that Chris Jericho taught me to be a sports entertainer. I am not a I am not a pro wrestler, so stop calling me that. I am a sports entertainer. And from here on out, I am now with the Jericho Appreciation Society because I am a sports entertainer, not a pro wrestler," and everything. And then, Chris Jericho got on the microphone and said, "Lesson learned from Daniel Garcia, lesson taught from Bryan Danielson. But since I am the Ring of Honor champion, Ring of Jericho champion, I will beat every single former Ring of Honor champion, and I will bury Ring of Honor once and for all," and everything. And then as Chris Jericho continued to talk, Dalton Castle and the boys, which are Brandon and Brent Tate, came out, and Dalton Castle was saying, you know, Christopher, you being Ring of Honor champion makes me sick. And just to let you know, I am a former Ring of Honor champion. I have broken my back for that title, and I'll break yours. And I will do everything I can to get the Ring of Honor World title and bring back prestige to the Ring of Honor World title. So how about you give me a shot at the Ring of Honor World title?" And Chris Jericho was saying, "All right, Peacock, you want a shot at the Ring of Honor World title? Well, you got it," and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a vignette of the buildup of the match between Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida for the interim AEW Women's title on AEW, All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Tuesday night. That was cool. Excuse me. The Trust Busters, which are Ari Davari and Sonny Kiss, cut a promo, and Ari Davari was talking about how he wasn't trying to get Hook's services and everything, and talked about how what Hook ripped up from that, from what Hook ripped up was $50,000 to purchase the FTW title. And Ari Davari was saying, Hook, you want to do things the hard way? Well, how about I take that FTW title from you by any means necessary and everything. That was cool. Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, cut a promo, and Orange Cassidy brought up that he won the AEW All-Atlantic title and everything, and Trent Beretta said, we know. And then Chuck Taylor issued a challenge to the Death Triangle, which are Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Penta El Cerro Miedo, Tuesday night on AEW Dynamite, and everything, and Trent Beretta was talking about how now the Orange Cassidy has the AEW All-Atlantic title. The three of them want the AEW Trios titles from the Death Triangle, which are Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Penta El Cerro Miedo, and everything. And then Trent Beretta signaled Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy to put their hands in, and Orange Cassidy was saying, Dynamite's on Tuesday this week? And Trent Beretta said, yeah. And everybody just looked, and so Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, looked confused and everything. That was cool. And Mark Henry interviewed the Pinnacle, which are Shawn Spears, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, and the Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Khan, along with Prince Nana. Well, Mark Henry brought up about the Embassy attacking the Pinnacle and everything, and Brian Cage, well, Prince Nana was doing his little singing gig and talking about money and everything, and Brian Cage said, all right, Prince Nana, enough. FTR, you all want to call yourselves the top guys? Well, us of the Embassy, we're going to kick your asses. And Shawn Spears, we have 10 different ways to kick your ass as well. And everything. And then Shawn Spears was saying, Cage, you 900 pounds of charismatic horrendous. Shut the hell up. I have waited 5 long months for this moment. And what better yet to be teaming with two of my best friends, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and kicking Embassy ass. And Dax Harwood was saying, and everything, and then Dax Harwood was saying, and you know, Embassy, you're all three great athletes, but tonight, the Pinnacle are going to kick your ass and everything. And then Cash Wheeler was talking about how the Pinnacle was going to kick the Embassy's ass and everything as well. And Cash Wheeler was saying, top guys out. Then Mark Henry was saying, then Mark Henry said his signature line, well, looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event and everything. And then Toa Leona screamed and everything. Just cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. And William Regal done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Butcher and the Blade. William Regal done great on guest commentary. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Butcher and the Blade. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Nyla Rose versus Anna Jay. Rick Knox refereed the match between Ethan Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. And Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Pinnacle versus the Embassy. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special Tuesday night edition episode, it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page for the AEW title, the Death Triangle, which are Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Cerro Miedo versus the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy for the AEW Trios titles. Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida for the interim AEW Women's title. Chris Jericho versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor World title. And excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, sorry. I got a little distracted. But anyway, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special Tuesday night episode, it's going to be Jon Moxley versus... It's going to be Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page for the AEW title. The Death Triangle, which are Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Cerro Miedo versus the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy for the AEW Trios titles. Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida for the interim AEW women's title, and Chris Jericho versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor World title. And besides the matches that have been announced, Renee Paquette will be doing a sit-down interview with the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta, and MJF will be appearing live. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special Tuesday night edition looks like it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage Friday night that's been announced so far, it's going to be Hook versus Ari Davari for the FTW title, and Tien versus Roosh. And the stipulation to that match, if Tien wins, then the Andrade family office, which are Andrade El Idolo, Jose the Assistant, Roosh, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, will all have to leave the Dark Order alone. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage Friday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage from 3 nights ago, which was October 14th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace. Out.